Right now, I'm in a country that's been deeply affected by the biggest war Europe has seen since World War II, with its impact clearly visible in daily life here. Yes, I'm talking about a place that's been at the center of world attention for everything it's been going through over the past few years: Ukraine.
Ukraine says at least 3 people have been killed in a Russian
There are
missile.
reports of explosions in the southern port of Odessa.
As you might already know, for the past few years, this country has been going through a very painful and brutal war here in Ukraine with its neighboring country, Russia. And at the moment, I'm in Odessa, which is one of the major cities of Ukraine, and this is where I arrived last night. The city I'm currently in is neither the capital nor the largest city of Ukraine, but it is still a very important city for the country. First of all, if you look at the map, you'll realize that Ukraine is actually the largest country in Europe that lies entirely within Europe. Yes, if we don't count overseas territories of France and only consider its European land, Ukraine is still larger than France. And we can't really count Russia either because only a part of it actually falls in Europe. And if we compare its size, then Ukraine is slightly smaller than the US state of Texas and nearly twice the size of the Indian state of Maharashtra. And as you've probably already figured out, Ukraine is located in Eastern Europe. The country is so large that almost all the surrounding Eastern European nations share a border with it, like Hungary, Romania, Slovakia, Poland, Belarus, Russia, and Moldova. And on top of that, Ukraine also has a southern coastline that touches the Black Sea and the Sea of Azov. And now, since the city we're currently in, Odessa, is located along this country's Black Sea coastline in the south, that means Odessa is a very important port city for Ukraine. And one more thing, that Ukraine is such a vast country, and the soil here is extremely fertile. That's why Ukraine is also known as the breadbasket of Europe. Because the soil in this country, which is called Chernozem or black earth soil, is extremely fertile. And that's exactly why Ukraine exports all kinds of grains like wheat, corn, and sunflower oil, not just across Europe but globally as well. And it's through the port of Odessa that most of these grains and oils are exported out of Ukraine. And since this city, due to its port, plays such a crucial role in the Ukrainian economy, during the war, there have been many attempts to target Odessa as well with drone and missile attacks. As of now, the war hasn't stopped at all. The conflict here is still active and ongoing. I didn't really plan on spending much time here, but due to circumstances, I ended up getting stuck here for an extra day. And if you've watched my previous video, then you already know what all happened with me last night. Right now, I'm in the very center of Odessa. The city feels almost completely deserted. You can see it's daytime right now, although at night a curfew is imposed here and stepping outside is strictly not allowed. By the way, I had arrived here during the night. Although you won't see the same level of destruction or damage here as in other major cities like Kyiv or Kharkiv. Even then, despite the ongoing war, the country's unstable economy, the strict curfews that are imposed every evening, and the constant fear of missile or drone attacks at any moment, the people of Odessa are still trying their best to carry on with their normal day-to-day lives and keep things going as normally as possible. Maybe colleges or schools are still running, I'm not really sure, but you can see a lot of young people around, even kids and people of working age moving around as usual. On the streets, you'll mostly see only women. And the reason for that is that almost all the young men have been drafted into the military, and they're out fighting this war for the country. As I mentioned earlier, I didn't really have any plan to spend much time in Odessa. Before coming to Ukraine, I was in its neighboring country Moldova, in the capital city of Chisinau. A friend of mine, Navankor, had come there, and the plan for both of us was to cross the border and enter Ukraine. Because of that, yesterday morning we took a bus from Chisinau, the capital of Moldova, to the Ukrainian city of Odessa. We reached the Ukraine border, where we were held and interrogated for almost 10 hours straight. We were kept right there at the border. We actually had a train from Odessa at exactly 7:30 in the evening to Kyiv, but obviously we missed that train. We were still stuck at Ukrainian immigration until around 12:30 or 1:30 at night, dealing with border security police who kept questioning us. They took our video interviews, asking why we had come to the country and what our purpose was. There were all kinds of interrogations, and honestly, for those 10 hours, we were really put through a lot. And I fully understood that a war is going on in their country right now. I was completely prepared to cooperate and support them in whatever way was needed, and I showed full respect. But even then, me as an Indian passport holder and my friend, who's also obviously Indian, were not allowed to go through. At the same time, Russian citizens arriving with Russian passports were being allowed to enter. Yes, they were questioned a bit too, but the level of suspicion we faced was on a completely different level. Almost as if they thought we had come to their country with some hidden agenda. And this was despite the fact that we were carrying proper tourist visas, basically saying that yes, we were coming to visit your country as tourists. Ukraine had already started issuing tourist visas again this year. I had actually taken this visa twice. The first time I didn't even travel. The second time I applied again, and that's the visa we were traveling on. We had all our bookings with us, all the documents were in place, but even after all that, what happened yesterday honestly felt quite insulting. But anyway, we finally made it into the country now. We missed yesterday's train and all our onward bookings for Kyiv. All the plans have pretty much fallen apart, but now we'll just enjoy whatever we have and make the most of it. Just now, I've reached right into the very center of Odessa, just like I told you earlier. The views here are honestly so beautiful. The city center is incredibly stunning, but there's hardly anyone around. There are no tourists at all. Even locals are barely visible. The streets are so beautiful, and look at those buildings. Like the building right in front of me feels intriguing, as in it holds some significance. We'll walk over and check it out, but there's no crowd, no people, nothing. It's not like there isn't a single person here at all, but the kind of attention this place obviously deserves, or the atmosphere that must have existed here before the war, you just don't get to see that anymore. We're standing right in the heart of the city, but the same thing again. There are no tourists at all. Tourism was shut down in this country for a long time, and it has only recently reopened. Still, because of the current situation and the war going on in Ukraine, hardly any tourists prefer to come here. And in the coming days, we'll be heading to other cities as well, where you'll be able to see the situation even more clearly and really understand the kind of damage this war has caused across Ukraine. We'll leave all that talk for later. For now, we're heading in this direction, where my friend is waiting for me at a restaurant. Check out this building, by the way. There's a Lada parked right in front of me. I really like these cars. They've got a cool old school vibe to them. On both sides of the road there are beautiful buildings and cafes as well, and some of them are still open. Not everything is open. A lot of places must have shut down by now. But look, that one over there is open. It looks really nice. Kind of cute, right? And everywhere you look, you'll obviously see Ukrainian flags. It feels like people are still trying to keep some sense of normal life and a bit of enjoyment going. Otherwise, life would become extremely difficult all the time, especially with these constant war news and updates. So even then, people are still trying their best to carry on with their daily lives. At the moment, it's daytime and I'm crossing the main streets in the city center without any trouble. There isn't a single car coming through here. In fact, when we arrived here at night, the curfew had already started. Somehow, during the curfew, we quietly and cautiously made our way through, nervously looking for a hotel, and eventually managed to reach one. And there he is, my friend Navankar Chaudhary, also known as the Yatri doctor on YouTube. So, where's the restaurant?
It must be here.
But this area looks so beautiful and not like war-torn.
Well, yeah, they have built it again. They were not going to wait for you.
Honestly, looking at all this, it doesn't even feel like the country is going through this kind of situation. So we found the restaurant we were looking for and now we are heading in. We've come inside the restaurant, but there's literally no one here apart from us. There's another section of the restaurant as well, and that's totally empty too. No one has come in at all. It's kind of unbelievable. There's absolutely nobody here. I'll show you the menu as well and show you how good and how affordable the food is. So we ordered samosa chaat, a spicy Indian street snack, and golgappas, those little crispy balls filled with tangy water and spices. Apart from that, we also ordered proper food like flatbread and vegetable curry. Just check how affordable the prices are. Their currency here is called the hryvnia. $1 is roughly equal to about 42 hryvnia. So this bill comes to around 230 hryvnia, which is roughly $5 to $6. Getting a proper vegetable meal for around $5 or $6 is something you just won't find anywhere else in Europe these days. Usually, you don't see meals priced under $8 or $10, but even while being in Europe, things here are still quite affordable. And it's not just the food, look around. There's staff working, a chef in the kitchen, and still everything is priced so reasonably. I ordered some tea as well, about 800 milliliters for 220 hryvnia, which comes to roughly $5. Will you have one?
Only if you pay.
I'd been craving tea for quite a while, and today I'm finally getting a proper amount of it. The Golgappas are here and they gave us 15 pieces. Honestly, it feels like this alone could fill me up. We just ordered them for fun, but this turned out to be way more than expected. And this is our samosa chaat. This was delicious, wasn't it? After eating, we stepped out and we ate really well. I mean, we ordered starters first, then our main meal, and even got some food packed to go, and I eat quite a lot myself. Even then, our total bill came to just 1,500. What do they call their currency again? I keep forgetting. Hryvnia, right. That comes out to roughly 35 to 36 US dollars charged to my card. No one else came in while we were there except for one person who came later, and he was Indian too, and showed up wearing a Ukrainian military uniform. I spoke to him for a bit. The restaurant owner was also from India, so all of us ended up talking together. We sat in that restaurant for almost 2.5 hours just talking. We discussed the Ukraine war, everything related to it. Since that guy was actually serving in the Ukrainian military, he started explaining how the attacks happen, how they carry them out, and how attacks happen on them as well. He even showed videos on his phone. While talking to him, we found out that even here in the city, there are quite a few drone attacks. Basically, drones come in carrying explosives and can crash straight into buildings. But most of the time, the Ukrainian defense systems manage to take down those drones before they cause damage. Wow, this car's number is avocado. But even then, quite a few drones still manage to get through and crash into buildings. They explode on impact and often start fires. So attacks like this happen quite frequently here in Odessa. People here say this has become a normal thing. At least once or twice a day, the sirens will go off for sure. The moment any missile or rocket shows up on their radar, sirens start ringing across the city. That's basically a warning that anything could happen. As soon as the sirens go off, people usually move underground, hide in bunkers, or start taking their safety precautions immediately. And generally, most of the attacks are aimed at government buildings, government offices, the port, military airports, and similar institutions. Those places are always at higher risk, and incidents there happen almost daily. It's not like something happens once every 10 days or so, something or the other is happening every single day. This is even more intense in cities like Kyiv and Kharkiv, which are the largest and second largest cities in the country. In fact, Kharkiv is located right next to the Russian border, and usually the chances of missiles hitting the city center or regular residential areas are relatively low. They generally don't target those places directly, but even then, the country they're at war with has its agents and intelligence operatives moving around in streets and neighborhoods, and identifying them is a huge challenge. One big reason for that is the language. They speak Russian, and here in Odessa, most people also speak Russian in daily life. Even Ukrainian as a language is quite similar. But ever since the war escalated, many Ukrainians have started avoiding Russian or have stopped using it altogether. People here say their identity is Ukrainian, so they prefer speaking their own language even though it's quite similar to Russian. Even so, in everyday life, especially in cities like Odessa, many people still speak Russian in daily conversations. And the Ukrainian language is used more in government institutions. So now, if any special agent or intelligence operative is moving around on these streets, it becomes very difficult for the police, security forces, or the military to differentiate whether that person belongs to this country or to the country they're at war with. And if we talk about the official status, the official language here is Ukrainian. But the more widely spoken language is Russian, especially in the eastern parts of the country and in the southern regions, which aren't very far from Russia. Here, Russian is used even more. Most of my Ukrainian friends were actually more fluent in Russian because that's the language they spoke at home. And like I've mentioned earlier, because of the war, the economy here has been hit really hard. The country's land area has been affected as well. A lot of territory that earlier belonged to Ukraine is now under Russian control. Crimea is one clear example of that. Along with this, the population has also been impacted significantly. So if we talk about Ukraine's demographics, meaning the people living here, around 77 to 78% of the population is ethnically Ukrainian. Apart from that, about 17 to 18% of the people here are ethnically Russian. That means they are Russian by ethnicity, but live in Ukraine and are Ukrainian citizens. Along with that, there are also some minority groups here like Moldovans, Belarusians, and Crimean Tatars. Crimea, the region that is now under Russian control, is home to the Crimean Tatars, who are another distinct ethnic community. But the population figures have changed a lot because of the war. Before the war, the numbers were different. I may not remember the exact data, but before the war, up until around 2020, Ukraine's population was over 40 million, probably close to 42 million. So more than 40 million people lived in Ukraine back then. But because of the war, a huge number of people have been internally displaced. Some have lost their lives and many others have left the country altogether, moving to different parts of Europe and even other regions of the world. In fact, over the past few years, I've made quite a few Ukrainian friends, but all of them are outside Ukraine. A lot of people from here moved to countries like Poland, the Czech Republic, Germany, and other nations. As of now, I think the population here is somewhere around 20 to 30 million. Maybe around 20 million, 25 million, or even 30 million. But I don't think that in any situation during the war, the population would be more than 25 to 30 million at the moment. And people being internally displaced doesn't mean the country's population suddenly dropped to zero, but it does mean that demographics have changed everywhere. A lot of people have left the country, and at the same time, the birth rate has also gone down. For now, we're heading toward the port nearby. Attacks do happen around the port area, so we need to be careful. You too, Navankar. And you can see their flag placed right in the middle here. As for the rules, boys up to the age of 25 can still go to college or university. After turning 25, the government can call them in to serve in the military. They also told us a few more things. Earlier, their trained military force was only around 15 to 20,000 people. But now, after the war began, the size of the military has grown into the hundreds of thousands. And one more thing they told us was about the day Russia first attacked when the war started in 2022 and Kyiv and Odessa were hit initially. They said that the army came to the port here and started distributing weapons openly. Ranging from Kalashnikovs to the AKs, they were literally handing them out. Civilians came in normal clothes, anyone could come, pick up a gun, and go fight alongside the soldiers against the Russians. Back then, Ukraine didn't have a very large trained military force, and they also don't have any nuclear weapons. Apparently, around 1992 or 1993, on the US President Bill Clinton's request at the time, Ukraine gave up its nuclear weapons. That became another issue because their neighboring country didn't see them as a big threat. They assumed Ukraine didn't really have an army or the strength to stand up to them. But even after all that, Ukraine has continued to defend itself and remain actively engaged in the conflict over time. One more thing you'll notice is that we're very close to the city center and right near the main port, and all these benches are completely empty. This looks like a popular square, but you don't see a single person sitting here because the country's population has gone down, and after the war, hardly anyone comes here from outside. The streets feel almost deserted. Most businesses are shut down. Many people have closed their shops and moved away to other parts of Europe. And I was curious about one thing, like how people working government jobs here are still getting paid. Because in other war-torn countries I visited, like Syria, things get really bad. Salaries stop coming. In places like South Sudan, the government simply can't pay anymore because there's nothing left in the system. So I was wondering how things are still functioning here. What they told me is that other European countries are helping out and sending financial support to the government so that salaries can still be paid. Now, how much of that is completely accurate, I honestly can't say for sure because this is my first time in this country. If I had been here before, I could probably explain it better. I don't really have anything to compare it with personally. But from what people here say, the streets used to be crowded and restaurants were always full with long waiting times. And now, as we're nearing the end of 2025, most restaurants are sitting empty, cafes are completely quiet, and a lot of businesses have shut down altogether. You can also see that there's a car parked on the side of the road here with its window completely shattered. No idea why. The condition of the car is pretty bad. Doesn't look like anything fell on it either. To me, it just seems like someone deliberately broke it, like it's been vandalized. So now we finally reached the port area here, Odessa's port. Anyway, interestingly, these stairs right here are very famous. They're called the Potemkin stairs. They were built sometime in the 1800s and are extremely well known here in Odessa. You can easily call this the city's most popular tourist spot, but you can see for yourself, there are no tourists around at all, hardly anyone. And right alongside this is Primorsky Boulevard. Primorsky isn't a person's name, it's actually a Ukrainian word that roughly means by the sea. This boulevard overlooks the Black Sea and also gives you a view of the city's elegant buildings and architecture. The entire stretch is lined with trees, lots of greenery all around, and it feels very refined and beautiful. There's a real sense of calm here, but at the same time, you never know. Anything could suddenly happen ahead of you. One more thing I've noticed in this country is that even when we're joking among ourselves and something is genuinely funny, you don't really feel like laughing out loud. The moment people around start looking at you, there's this instant sense of shame that kicks in. You remember that this country is going through a war, people here have suffered so much, and then it feels wrong to laugh openly. Even if we're laughing over something personal or a private joke, it just doesn't feel right to laugh in public here. Even when you feel like laughing for some other reason, there's this sudden heaviness and guilt that stops you. It's already around 5:30 in the evening and we're just walking around right in the city center. Offices are done for the day, colleges and everything else are closed too. But even then, you don't really see any crowd or buzz here. It just makes me think that at one point in time, this place must have been really lively. But right now, it's completely quiet. Even the cafes we were looking at nearby to grab a coffee, some of them look quite popular with good reviews, but when you step inside, they're totally empty. There's literally no one in there. On the other side of the road too, there are shops and cafes, but everything feels deserted. And like I mentioned earlier, on the streets, you mostly see women, either elderly men or very young kids. You don't really see any young men above 25 at all. It's mostly just women everywhere. And this is literally the main area of the city. We're right in the center of Odessa right now. It's around 5:30 in the evening. The weather is great. It's a Saturday and there's still plenty of sunlight. But the atmosphere is just so quiet. Usually whenever I'm filming or recording, it's very hard to do it without a mic because there's always so much noise, especially when you're right in the middle of a city during the evening. But right now I'm recording without a mic. All the clips you are hearing are recorded just like this, and listen to the silence. Even a single bus passing by suddenly feels loud. You can hear it clearly. It just hit the brakes right now. Look at that. A single vehicle passing by creates this much noise. Normally, if 3 or 4 vehicles pass close by in the city center, recording a video like this becomes impossible. But look around right now, everything feels so empty. You barely see any people. And in a way, there's a strange kind of charm to it. Visiting a country or a place at its lowest point when most people are ignoring it has a very different feeling of its own. Guys, as the sun keeps going down and the evening slowly comes to an end, the streets are getting even emptier. That's because a curfew will be imposed here at night, and during the curfew, no one is allowed to step outside for any reason at all, unless you have some kind of special permission. And even yesterday, when we arrived here around 1:30 at night, the curfew was already in place. But somehow, very quietly and cautiously, we managed to find a hotel and finally arrived there. And the Indian guy we met today, who's serving in the Ukrainian military, I even asked him what would have happened if we had been caught. He told me that we would have been detained, most likely taken to a police station or somewhere else, and then questioned and interrogated. And if you're a tourist and can properly prove it, there probably wouldn't be any serious consequences. But still, he clearly said, don't put yourself in that kind of risk at all. But still, no matter how bad the situation is in this country, no matter how many problems there are, even with a full-on war going on, they really haven't shut down the fun side of life here. Look over there, that casino right in front. When we checked into the hotel last night, they told us it's open 24 hours. They even said if you want food late at night, you can just go to the casino. I mean, strip clubs are open, casinos are open, bars are open, malls are open. All the entertainment spots are still operating. Sure, there aren't many people inside them. Most places feel empty, but they're still open. It's kind of unbelievable. Just walking on the streets, you see so many strip clubs, so many bars, so many casinos. And not just one or two, we've already seen several casinos. All the nightlife and entertainment stuff is still open despite everything that's going on. Honestly, that really surprised me. We're back at the hotel now. This is the room where we spent the night. From here, I'm about to head back downstairs toward the gym. And just look at this view, man. What an incredible sight. The sunset view from the hotel room in the evening looks absolutely stunning. The sky looks so beautiful, really amazing. You can even see that church in the distance, the one we passed by earlier. It looks incredible from here. At the same time, you can also spot some damaged buildings around. The camera isn't focusing very clearly right now, but I did take a proper shot of this building during the day. You'll notice a few structures like this that look destroyed. I don't know the exact reason behind it, whether it's because of attacks or if the buildings are just old and worn down. I honestly don't have a clear answer to that. Where did the time even go? There's barely any time left now. In exactly 1 hour and 20 minutes, we have our train from Odessa station to Kyiv. We need to be on the train by then, because once it departs, that's it. That's all the time I have. So I'm quickly heading down to the gym. Thankfully, there's a gym right here on the ground floor of the hotel. I'll squeeze in a quick workout, do some exercise, grab my bag, and then head straight to the train station. I entered the gym at around 6:40 p.m. I paid for a day pass, which was $250 in the local currency, roughly around $6. Now it's already $7.25. In about 45 minutes, I managed to finish a quick upper body session. Around 20 sets in total, all wrapped up within 45 minutes. Now it's time to move fast, grab my bag, and head straight to the railway station so we don't end up missing the train. Alright, we're back in the room, grabbed our bags, and now we're heading out toward the train station. It's not too far from here. What's the time?
37.
Oh, 37 already. Come on then. The train will depart in just 23 minutes now. But the good thing is that the station is very close. It's only about 5 minutes from here. And the most interesting part, tell them how much did we pay for one night at this hotel?
1,070 hryvnias.
Just 1,070 hryvnias for a night. So yeah, that's what I was saying. We got such a great room for just about $26 for one night. An amazing view of the entire city from the 11th floor and all the facilities included. Everything here is so cheap because hardly anyone is coming. The entire hotel feels empty. We haven't really seen any other guests. It's almost eerie. We still have to return the key at the reception, but there's literally no one sitting at the desk right now. In about 2 to 2.5 hours, the curfew will kick in here, and after that, you won't see anyone on the streets, and stepping outside won't be allowed at all. So now we're heading from Odessa to the capital and largest city, Kyiv. There's no direct train, so we'll have to change trains once. Around 3 o'clock in the morning, we'll switch to another train, and after that, we should reach Kyiv tomorrow morning. When are we gonna reach Kyiv, by the way?
7 a.m.
We'll be reaching at around 7 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, which means we'll be spending the entire night on the train. It should be right over there. There's a park here in the middle with a fountain that's not in working condition right now. On the other side of it, I think, is the train station. There isn't much time left, so let's get there quickly.
Zalisnichny Vokzal.
So the Odessa train station looks quite dark, honestly. A lot of the lights seem to be turned off. Not all of them, but most of them are. I don't really know the reason. It feels unusually dark. Maybe the lights are kept off on purpose, possibly to avoid attacks or for some safety reason. Hard to say exactly why. Even the lights outside don't seem to be turned on. I don't know what the reason is. We've got just 10 minutes left before the train, and we still need to find our platform. It's a very typical Soviet-style train station. We asked around for directions and they told us that our train is on platform number 4. Just turn right from here and we should reach it.
Exit to trains.
Here's platform number 2 and right next to it are platforms 3 and 4. This should be ours. The train is scheduled for 8:01. It's the one going from Odessa to the next city on our route. So yes, this is our train. This is it. You can see the train engine standing right here as well. These are the same old Soviet-style trains. Look to the right, that's our train. It will stop at a city called Vinnytsia first. From here to Kyiv is almost 500 kilometers. We'll get down there after roughly 250 kilometers around 3 o'clock in the morning. From there, we'll have to change trains and take another one to finally reach Kyiv. Our coach number is 4. The previous one was number 3. So this should be 4. Yep, here it is, coach number 4. Which ones?
This one and this one.
Both the upper ones? So here's our berth. The mattress has been laid out. I won't really fit properly on this, but somehow I'll manage. Yeah, sit here. So the sheets are laid on the seats and bags are kept on top. You're lucky you're with me. Everything just worked out automatically. The bags are set, the sheets are in place, mattress is laid out. The only job left now is to sleep on this.
Because you are my bodyguard.
And you are my boss. Thank you, sir. Alright, stretch out properly. Straighten up once. Man, if even he isn't fitting properly on this bed, how am I supposed to fit on it? We're stuck. And this is what the rest of their rail setup is like. It's just about technique. I think we should get that front seat as well. Getting that seat will solve our problem. Or should I keep my feet like this?
As you wish.
It's been a little over 2 hours since the train departed. It left at 8 o'clock and we'll be getting down at around 3 o'clock in the morning at the next city, like I mentioned earlier. The train ticket wasn't expensive at all. It was actually very cheap. I think it was around 400 per person, I guess, in local currency, which comes to roughly 9 to 10 US dollars. On top of that, we paid extra for the bed linens. These sheets you're seeing, the bed sheet and pillow covers cost roughly $2 extra. So overall, the train is very affordable and quite cheap to travel on. What's interesting though is that the train was completely sold out when we booked it. Even though the country's population feels low and the streets look empty, it still showed almost full while booking. Right now, a lot of seats look empty, so it's a bit confusing where everyone is traveling to. And like I've said many times before, throughout the train you mostly see women. I've barely seen 1 or 2 men. Everywhere else it's women. On the berths below us, beside us, everywhere. For now, we'll try to get some sleep. We had packed some food and finished eating that. My friend has already fallen asleep and now I'll rest for a bit too. In about 4.5 hours, this train will stop and then we'll have to change to another train. We're about to arrive now. We've packed our bags and are standing near the door. In just a few seconds, the train is going to stop at our first destination, where we need to get down.
Oh, there are soldiers standing here.
What?
20 to 25 soldiers with guns.
Really? Here, along the platform, there was a full military presence standing with guns, even at this hour. Maybe because the curfew is still in effect, not sure. Navankar is checking again. Alright then, let's get down. They pulled the brakes. Let's go now. It's 3 o'clock in the morning and we've gotten down from our train at Vinnytsia station. The next train that will take us to Kyiv arrives at 4:10, so a little over an hour from now, about 1 hour and 5 minutes. Right now, the temperature is around 1 degree Celsius. It's pretty cold outside, but since we have our bags and a jacket on, it's manageable. I couldn't really sleep on the train at all. Navankar, on the other hand, slept really well. Now the next train is coming in about an hour and it's probably only a 3-hour journey. This train is about to depart now, and look over here, there's a vending machine set up at the station. Honestly, it didn't feel like we'd find anything at this hour because it's curfew time, but we needed some water, and then we spotted this vending machine right here. Anything good?
Was getting water.
Yes, water. Oh, you want some chai? Wait, let me buy you some. I'll get you one. It's for 25, I guess. Don't worry, I will get you that one.
Give me the card. Okay, buy him first.
Okay, buddy, you want this one? Go on, brother, take it. Have the tea, it's yours. Now your turn, what do you want?
Water.
Here you go. Enjoy, my friend, and remember, someone came here to help you at this hour.
Thank you, sir.
Train.
Tap the card correctly here.
You do it then. The train is also departing. So our train is departing now. Give me the card. The water isn't coming out of this one. Let's just take this instead. Look, they've got milk at the coffee machine. I did the same thing yesterday as well. We went to a coffee machine and it showed 40 milliliters of milk for a small amount. I selected a bigger option and got around 200 milliliters of milk for about $1, basically a full glass. We did the same thing here too. So now we've got hot milk. We got it for around $1 for a cup of warm milk.
They have given a spoon too.
Da svidaniya.
It was honestly so satisfying to drink. In this cold weather, a glass of hot milk just hits different. I've actually come back to get one more. Oh, they have added sugar also. It was added before the milk. That's why it was so tasty. Another train just arrived and the few people who were standing on the platform all got onto it. The station is completely empty now, apart from this passenger. Hey champ! Let's head down inside the station, and this is something interesting here. Inside the train station, they've installed digital ticketing machines. You really notice the contrast. On one hand, you've got these old Soviet-era trains still running, and on the other hand, the stations have CCTV cameras, digital machines, vending machines for payments, and even self-service machines where you can buy train tickets on your own. It's actually a really interesting blend of old and new. Kind of surprising, but in a good way. I don't know where my friend disappeared to, but look at this. Even at the train station, it clearly says shelter. In fact, at the hotel we stayed at, and in most properties here, you'll see signs like this everywhere.
During an air raid, the entrance to the station building is closed.
I had translated this already. Let's go upstairs. The heater is on there. It's really cold down here. And look at this, man. That same beautiful station upstairs. I really like their train stations. They look so nice to me. Exactly at 4:07 in the morning, our train arrived right on time. Our coach number is 16. So we walked past coaches 11 and 12 to get here. And you know what's interesting? Even though these trains cover such long distances, going back to the Soviet era rail system, they still arrive right on time. These are huge countries, massive distances, and yet the train comes in absolutely on schedule, perfectly precise. Yeah, don't worry, they won't kick us out like that. The ticket checker will see it. No one's standing here anyway, relax, we'll get in. The train will stop for a couple of minutes and then leave at 4:10 from here. And look at how cheap this is. Just 400 hryvnias per person, and that includes both trains. The entire journey from Odessa to Kyiv for around 9 to 10 US dollars. Let's go. Here we go, these are our seats. Let's spread the sheets out. This coach is really crowded, man. There was barely any space to walk through. I could hardly squeeze my way along the aisle. It's early morning now, and by around 5:15 or 5:30, most people were already awake. Everyone started folding their sheets and bedding. I was still half asleep. I had only managed to fall asleep a little while ago, but once everyone stood up and began packing their bedding and mattresses, we had no choice but to get up as well. We're about to reach the city now. Kyiv isn't very far from the station anymore. This is one of Kyiv's train stations. I genuinely thought that the main station, the central one where we were supposed to get down, would be the next stop after this. I assumed this one wasn't the city center station and that our stop was still coming. But turns out this is actually the station where we needed to get down. This itself is the main station of the city. So yeah, this is it. Come on bro, help me with the bag. It's kept so high up. Somehow my hand still reaches it. Everyone's got their bags stacked everywhere. Alright, let's get moving.
Thank you.
Let's go.
Привет.
So yeah, this train journey finally comes to an end here. For now, it's done because we've reached Kyiv at exactly 7 o'clock in the morning. I'll even show you the clock. You can see it written up there in Ukrainian. Kyiv, and look at the time, exactly 7 a.m. It's starting to get a bit brighter now, which means sunrise is about to happen. Now, we'll step out and look for a place where we can rest for a while. On the first train, Navankur still managed to get some sleep, but I didn't get even a second of sleep on that one. And this second train was so short that about an hour before the arrival, suddenly the entire coach came alive with people folding their blankets and packing up their bedding all at the same time. One by one, people got up and neatly folded their blankets and bedding, getting everything ready all at once. So there was barely any time to rest. Most of it went into folding and removing the sheets, and I didn't really get any proper sleep. Now we'll head out and look for a hotel and request an early check-in. And if that doesn't work, we'll just pay for an extra day so we can at least get some sleep. So yeah, we finally made it to Kyiv. A lot of people had warned us not to come here, saying Kyiv is risky and that attacks keep happening all the time. But somehow, we've managed to reach here anyway. By now, the curfew should be over since it's already 7 o'clock in the morning. Now the question is, where do we take a hotel?
This is one here.
Let's just go with this one. It actually makes sense because if we have to catch another train later, especially during curfew hours, we won't be able to reach the station from elsewhere in the city. If we stay here, we can directly come to the platform. So yeah, let's go inside, ask for the rates, and see if they allow early check-in. Only then will it really be worth it. We've checked in now, and look at this. That red sign right there points toward a shelter. Sirens can go off anytime during the day here. Whenever there's a missile attack, sirens start ringing across the city, and as soon as that happens, you're supposed to move toward these shelters. Almost every place here has shelters. People can go inside and take cover during an attack. You can see the shelter sign here as well. People are sitting over there eating normally, and there we go, our elevator is here. We got the room. The room for one night was 2,450 hryvnias. You can probably see the rate on the screen as well. We also took early check-in for 540 more. So the total comes to around 3,000 in their local currency, which is roughly a little over 70 US dollars. These are just a few views of the city. The sunrise has started. Honestly, it's been a very exhausting journey because I couldn't sleep at all. So now we'll rest a bit and I'll see you guys in the next video when we step out and explore Kyiv, get to know the city properly. We'll end this video right here.
Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.